NoLaw, a set of the Black Pea Stones based around 62nd and Evans in Chicago, has a rich history that dates back to the 1990s. Originally known as ChiefTown, NoLaw has seen its territory and influence shift over the years. Despite its relatively small size compared to other sets in the area, NoLaw has maintained a significant presence in its neighborhood. The set's history is marked by both loyalty and tragedy, with several members lost to violence over the years. Situated near powerful gangs like the 800 and Jarrow City, NoLaw's legacy continues to resonate on the streets of Chicago as the community grapples with the challenges of gang violence and its impact. Let's take a closer look at NoLaw, a set of the Black Pea Stones based around 62nd and Evans in Chicago. This set has deep roots in the area, with a history that stretches back to the 90s. Originally known as ChiefTown, NoLaw's territory has shifted over time. Currently, their reach extends from 62nd to 63rd, between Langley and Evans, but this wasn't always the case. At one point, their turf stretched from 60th to 63rd. Despite its longevity, NoLaw is relatively small compared to some of the larger sets in the area. They don't have many younger members specifically claiming NoLaw, but they do have active older members. The younger generation from this neighborhood seems to be gravitating towards Marcus Way, a set that's growing in influence. Over time, it's possible that NoLaw's territory could be absorbed by Marcus Way, but that's a process that will take time. NoLaw is situated near some well-known and powerful sets, like the 800 and Mickey Cobra set and Jarrow City. Despite their smaller size, NoLaw remains a significant presence in their part of the city, with a history and legacy that continues to resonate with those familiar with the streets of Chicago. On April 2, 2009, 18-year-old Tommy Williams was shot and killed. Just weeks later, 15-year-old Kevin Watson was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. But as the trial unfolded, things weren't as clear-cut as they seemed. The prosecution's key witnesses, Gerald Baker, Tommy Robinson, William Bud Jones, and Eugene Ollie, initially identified Watson as the shooter in their statements. However, when they took the stand, all four claimed they couldn't recall key details, or they outright denied their earlier statements. This raised serious questions. Were they scared, or was something else going on? For instance, Baker had previously told investigators he saw Watson running from the scene, but on the stand, he suddenly couldn't remember. Robinson had identified Watson in a lineup, but at trial, his memory was fuzzy. Jones had once said he saw Watson shoot Williams, but in court, he backtracked, claiming he never saw the shooter's face. Ollie, too, seemed unsure, even though he had previously testified that Watson looked nervous and muttered, "What the hell did I do?" The defense called just one witness, David McIntyre, who testified that he didn't see Watson at all that day, and the shooter he saw looked different. But his story was questioned since he hadn't mentioned this before. Chicago's South Side has seen its share of tragedy, but few stories highlight the struggles of this community, like the death of Damian Turner, also known as Mo Joe. Mo Joe, a member of the NoLaw/800 gang, was only 18 when he was killed in 2010 by members of the 600 gang. His death sparked a wave of outrage and led to calls for better trauma care on the South Side. Damian Turner was a vibrant, happy young man who loved life and people, according to his mother, Sheila Rush. On the night of his death, he was shot at 61st and Cottage Grove, just blocks away from the University of Chicago Medical Center. Despite the proximity, he was taken nearly 10 miles away to Northwestern Memorial Hospital because there was no Level 1 trauma center on the South Side. This tragedy raised serious questions. Why does a violence-plagued area like the South Side lack a trauma center capable of saving lives in those critical moments after a shooting? The University of Chicago had once operated such a center, but closed it in 1988, citing the strain it placed on other departments. Turner's death reignited the debate, with his family and community demanding action. Tragedy struck Monday morning in what locals considered a rare safe haven amidst a landscape of danger. Around 10 a.m., 27-year-old Philip Henderson, known to residents as Jim Shoe, was standing on a corner in the 600 block of East 62nd Street. It was then that a man approached, pulled out a gun, and shot him in the upper chest. Henderson, a resident of the 6200 block of South Langley Avenue, was rushed to Stroger Hospital, but despite efforts to save him, he was pronounced dead at 10:38 a.m. Witnesses say they heard a single gunshot followed by the screeching of tires as a car sped away. But it wasn't over. 3 more shots echoed through the neighborhood as Henderson, who tried to flee after the first shot, collapsed. The shooter then stood over him, fired again, and quickly fled the scene. While Henderson was known to have gang affiliations, it's unclear if this brutal attack was gang-related. As of now, no arrests have been made. What makes this incident particularly shocking to residents is that it happened in what they describe as a safe zone. Surrounded by more dangerous territories, their block has generally been a place of peace, a rare middle ground in an area otherwise marred by violence. "We're in the middle, so we're good. We're peacemakers over here, baby," said one resident, reflecting the community's sense of security that was shattered on this tragic day. Another tragic shooting unfolded Thursday night in Chicago's South Side, this time claiming the life of 25-year-old Rizelle Phillips in the West Woodlawn neighborhood. Phillips, a resident of the 6700 block of South Clyde Avenue, was sitting inside his vehicle around 9:10 p.m. when a car pulled up beside him on 6119 South Cottage Grove Avenue. Without warning, the assailant opened fire, shooting multiple rounds into the left side of Phillips's vehicle. Tragically, Phillips sustained several gunshot wounds. Despite the efforts to save him, he was transported to Stroger Hospital, where he was pronounced dead at 9:56 p.m. No other injuries were reported in the incident. In 2016, a young man known as D-Boy, who was affiliated with the NoLaw 800 gang, was tragically killed at just 16 years old. In the wake of his death, Marcus Way was created in his honor, serving as a memorial to remember and pay tribute to his life. Tragedy struck the Woodlawn neighborhood on Chicago's South Side this past weekend, as a shooting left 2 men dead, another critically injured, and a 4th wounded. On Wednesday, authorities announced charges against 20-year-old Callow Gilmore from the West Pullman neighborhood. Gilmore, who lives on the first block of E. Brayton, is accused of being the gunman in this deadly incident. The chaos unfolded around 4:30 p.m. on Sunday afternoon when shots erupted on the 6100 block of S. Evans, just a block south of Washington Park. According to police, a group of people was gathered on a front porch when a dark blue Chevy Impala pulled up. Moments later, a man stepped out of the vehicle and unleashed a barrage of gunfire. That man, police now say, was Callow Gilmore. As we reported earlier, Gilmore was apprehended shortly after the shooting, right on the same block where the tragic event took place. The Cook County Medical Examiner's Office later identified the 2 victims who lost their lives as 31-year-old Randy Punke and 19-year-old Sean Douglas. Additionally, a 35-year-old man was critically injured after being struck multiple times. There was also a 4th victim, whose age is unknown, who managed to self-transport to a local hospital and is believed to be in good condition. Beaver NoLaw was killed by an 083 No Limit member in Iowa in 2017. His murderer was found guilty in 2021 and sentenced to 50 years. The story of NoLaw is one of resilience and loss. From the tragic deaths of members like Tommy Williams, Damian Mojo Turner, D-Boy, Twin King, and Jim Shoe, to the ongoing struggles for survival and relevance in a constantly shifting landscape, NoLaw's history is deeply intertwined with the broader narrative of Chicago's South Side, as the community continues to navigate the realities of gang life. The legacy of NoLaw serves as a reminder of the human cost of violence and the enduring impact it has on those left behind.